Big dogs online talk about doing 10x the volume all the time, but is it even realistic or even possible? So we built a business from the garage all the way to 180 mil exit, and we learned the truth, the real truth about doing volume. All right, so straight into it. Every day we would print signs. You can see them all here in the background. We had a whole bunch of them, and brochures. And realistically, if we were only printing one print a day, we would not have seen this, right? So we were doing, you can see there's quite a lot going on here. We were printing in the early days, probably 10, 20 signboards a day, which isn't massive volume, but you very quickly, when you're doing that, it adds up, right? It's like 5 times 10 to 20. You're talking about 50 to 100 signs a week, which very quickly adds up for a small team, right? We're a very small team. There was only like 4 of us in this at this stage of the business. So as we scaled, we eventually got to like 50 printed orders, and some days we'd have like 40 to 50 signs in a day, right? Now this happened over time. Obviously, you can't go and do that day one, but once you're doing 50, you very quickly find flaws in your systems and processes, right? Now, when you start getting stretched, that's when you implement better systems and find better ways to do something. Now, keep that in the back of the mind as we step through this. So the first thing that I want to talk about when figuring out if you can actually do 10 times the volume is you need to find the thing, right? I think this is super important. If you don't actually have a thing that you care about, you're 100% not going to be doing 10x the volume. You're never going to be even considering that. So for most of us, like I imagine that watch this video, either running a business already or building one. So that is your thing, right? You care about your business. That's the actual thing that we care about. And that's what we want to put in all the effort into, because you want to be successful. You don't want to fail. What's the point of doing all this work for no reason? Now, you want to be passionate, right? So this passion can be in many things. A lot of people are like, do your passion for your job. Probably don't do that. Do something that you are good at and that you can make money from. Realistically, that's what you want to be doing. But we want to be passionate about it. So it doesn't have to be about the thing you're doing. So literally, I am passionate about putting up signs. No, I am not passionate about putting up signboards. It's probably one of my least favorite things to do in my spare time. But I am good at building systems, and I am driven or passionate about building businesses and making money. The key thing there is like find that passion. Not literally go and do what you love doing in your spare time. Keep that as a hobby. That's a whole nother story for another day. So this is going to be the opportunity for you to 10x. We want to find one thing, realistically one thing, and we want to go all in on that. So it's like go all in here. And right, hashtag, we all know about this stuff as hashtag focus. That's going to allow you to actually go all in and give you the opportunity to find the thing that you're going to go in 10x. So that's point one. If you don't have the thing, you're not going to actually even have an chance of 10xing something. All right, let's move straight along to point 2. Volume negates luck. Do a lot of volume, and that's what I was saying up above. With 50 orders, we were doing a lot of volume for a small team that we can then actually figure out ways to improve. So this is where we want to be able to put in, and this is one of the reasons we try and 10x. It's why 10x is a driver. We find the flaws so we can improve the business and make the business better. Because you want to constantly make things easier and easier. And this quote is actually one of Alex Hormozi's, is like, do so much volume that it negates luck. So consistent high volume action in any endeavor creates so many opportunities that it minimizes the importance of chance and makes success almost inevitable. Instead of waiting for a lucky break, you brute force. It results by increasing the quantity of your actions, thereby improving your chances, building skills through repetition, and creating a path to success. This is what we're doing. This is why volume is actually super important. This is why doing 10x matters. A lot of people make fun of this and go like, I've seen on social, everyone makes fun of like, oh, just 10x it. Yeah, it's the concept behind it. It's not literally everything you do. 10x the amount of stake is obviously taking the piss, as we say in Australia. But volume is going to give you an opportunity to make improvements. It's going to make you do them faster. That is the concept behind doing more volume. So if you're making much more concept, the chances of being seen increases. So the more pieces you do, the more chances you're going to get to actually be in front of someone. Maybe you just get posted at the right time. If your reels like mine aren't that good quality, you might just find that you're getting it in the right time and getting seen by eyeballs. Now that I'm doing 5 videos a week, I can test more formats, titles, and getting in more reps. So I was doing 1 a month. Now my goal for the season is to do 5 a week. The only reason we're doing it is for data collection. So we want to collect as much data as possible. You can collect data by doing volume, but it's just going to take a lot longer. If you want data fast, because you want to iterate quickly, you need to do volume. It's all about that data collection. So if you make 1 phone call a week, how do you improve on that? But doing 100 a day is going to get you better and better. You're going to learn what to say, and then this applies to any skill. You see, how often does a professional sports player practice the same move over and over and over, taking 3-pointers over and over? Why are they doing that? Because they're doing the volume. This is what's key. So moving straight on to point 3. So let's go just quickly. Find the thing that you want to do the volume. Do so much volume that it negates the luck. And now I think this is super important, is we want to build up to it. I think a lot of people miss this piece. You can't walk in to the gym day one. I like this analogy, and try and do the Ronnie Coleman workout if you've never done it before. That was Caleb Ralston, so cheers for that, mate. But I saw this in real time recently. My dad hadn't been to the gym for a very long time. I've been training for 20 years plus. For me, I've been doing a lot of volume. When I went in with him on a rest day, I did 3 sets of 3 movements, and it almost killed him. The next day, he could barely move. For me, it felt like I had done nothing. This is because I had done volume. It's the same thing with marathon runners. They run lots of volume pre-marathon. You don't just rock up day one after being a 100-meter sprinter and try and run a marathon. You will literally have a bad time. So it can also be thought about in another example, is like if you trying to fix your diet, don't go to logging your calories and every single piece of food you put in your mouth day one, because you just will burn out and won't do it. Just change your foods for healthier options. And then over time, you can work out to that. So it's very hard to do 10x of volume on day one. But as you build up to it, so many times it becomes second nature, right? So something here for me is when we started YouTube, like I wanted to do 1 video a week. That was like my goal that I set for myself, 1 video per week. And this was on 1 channel. Then as we added ClipFlow, I was still doing my 1 vid plus a week. Plus I was trying to do a ClipFlow something. Then I went into doing shorts. So I set myself a goal of doing 1 per day. Over time, we're increasing volume. My current goal is 1 long a day. And the only reason I'm doing this is to get better, is to collect more data, and so that we can actually try and achieve that 10x. Now it's hard to do 10x on here, because realistically I'd be having to do, if I'm doing 1 a week, so 1 times a week, 5 times is 5 a day. And to do 10, we'd have to do 10 a week, which would be 2 a day, which is equals 10x, right? That's 10x. So if I can get to 2 a day, now I'm doing 10x. Now, unfortunately, I think that probably wouldn't work in this thing with YouTube. It might be a bit much. But if we were looking at we went from 12 a year and now I'm doing 5 a week. So I'm doing over 250 plus a year. So there's your 10x, right? Sometimes you can't 10x 2 small numbers, because otherwise you'll literally kill yourself. But yes, if we were to 10x, this would be 120. We're actually 20xing here. Obviously, this is something that I think about a lot when people complain about the 10x problem. The key things that I think is yours will always be different. Your 10x is always going to look different to someone else's 10x. And that's fine, because we all start at different stages. Now, this is also... as he says, funny, he says, everything ends, you either die or you give up. But I also like to add another one in there, is you either die, you give up, or you achieve your goal, right? So for us we're going to do 10x the volume for a while until we figure out what works. And then once that works, then we can do that. And we can decide to do 10x. But at this stage, it's 10x on marketing. That's what we want to do on marketing and content. That's why we're 10xing there. Later, it'll be product and it's going to change. So the marketing is going to take a seat and then we're going to work on product again. And that's perfectly fine. So your 10x is always going to change. But what you really want to be doing, the concept I believe that's most important here is doing volume and learning from it and learning how to write. So doing volume and learning. That's what we're actually trying to do. That is the concept behind the 10x. We need to figure out how can we do heaps? How can we figure out the problems? And then from there, improve on that. And business is going to stretch you. And that is the whole point. When you're doing 10x, you're going to feel uncomfortable. When you're working towards 10x even, you're going to feel uncomfortable. And when you're uncomfortable, you're growing. If you're not growing, everything feels chill. It's all good. We can do this all day because you're not learning, you're not growing. And it's going to come from doing more. You're going to get better and better from doing more. So put in and work towards 10x. So what does that look like? So at the moment we're doing 1x. How do we get to 2x? And that could be a big jump up, right? And then we slowly work our way up to 10x. And then your 10x becomes nothing. Your 10x compared to someone else will just be well, I'm not even trying anymore. Now I want to 10x that. What is it? It's just constant growth. That's really what we're looking for here. Trying to be stretched. We're trying to learn. We're trying to collect data. We're trying to get better. All right. So I would like to hear from you. If you're still watching this video, thank you very much. Really do appreciate it. What do you do, or how do you think about doing 10x the volume? Let me hear about how you approach this thing. What do you think about it? Is it actually possible to do 10x, or is it just nonsense? It's been preached all day, every day on the internet, so it must be true, right? And then chuck us a like, please. That'd be greatly appreciated. And if you do like this style content, please follow along, subscribe to our channel, because we are releasing all these things from all our years of learning, building the business, literally, like I said, from the garage, $0 all the way to 180 mil exit, where we were making multiples of tens of millions of dollars of revenue. It was a journey, but we want to share those learnings with you as well. So until next time, catch you on the next one.